Hello everybody, Richard Charay with Martini and a Movie.com. Michael is manning the camera this time. We're here at the Sarasota Film Festival, and joining us today is Paul Dallas, who has a film in the festival. Welcome, Paul.
Thank you very much.
Tell us about your film.
So Halston is a biographical documentary about the American fashion designer Halston, and it's a big kind of epic film, and it takes place. It really follows his life from the 60s through the 80s, and it was really a portrait of him through his work. And he was really innovative, not only in fashion in terms of what he did technically, but also in terms of his businesses. He was the first fashion designer to really license his name in a big way. So he became a household name in the 70s, and then was the first to go mass market in the 80s. And the fashion world kind of vilified him for that at that time. It wasn't cool for fashion designers to go high and low at the same time, and that sort of tragically ended his career. But so this film kind of tells that story and sort of situates it for today's audience. I mean, nowadays it's very common for fashion designers to be like, I'm in Target and I'm at Bergdorf's, but it wasn't then, and he took a big gamble.
Wow. But certainly a pioneer.
Yeah, a pioneer, absolutely.
So does your film cover the whole course of his career?
Yes, yeah.
Wow.
So he started as a milliner. He put the pillbox hat on Jackie Kennedy, and he was a huge star in his 20s as a milliner for Bergdorf's. And then as the 60s waned, he decided that hats were out and he needed to get into clothes. And so he developed these beautifully unstructured garments that just flowed on the women, and that's really what he became famous for, these like very chic, glamorous dresses that were, really, I guess, synonymous with the disco era. And he was good friends with Liza Minnelli, and he's at Studio 54, and he was one of the first celebrity designers.
Well, when you think about fashion over the years, it's evolved, but it's also part of people's identity.
Absolutely.
People dress what says something about them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and I'm sure to see that covered in film and in the course of his career is, I'm sure, going to be fascinating.
Well, it's interesting because he was very much about the clothes. He was incredibly gifted. I mean, he could literally cut a piece of fabric and make a dress just with a few cuts. But on another level, he also kind of shifted fashion into this larger conversation about lifestyle. So he was like the first person to really say, well, you're going to also be sleeping in Halston sheets and have Halston pillows and, Halston car interiors. It was sort of this it was the proto-global fashion kind of identity. And that was really innovative for the 70s.
What inspired you to tell this story?
I think Fred Cheng, the director of this, he made a film called Dior and I, and that was a pretty intimate portrait of Raf Simons as he took on the sort of Dior legacy. And I think when we were first talking about the project with Roland Ballister, who was who brought the project to Fred and then to me, the main conversations were about kind of shining a light on this guy who had really never been given his due. He's never had a big retrospective at the Met. He hasn't, despite his huge contribution to fashion and to American culture at large, because of the crazy circumstances of his life, he's been forgotten. I mean, his business sort of crashed in the 80s, and then he lost control of his company, and he died of AIDS in 1990. And then there's a sort of tragic side to that story, but I think this was a chance to really kind of situate him in the 20th century as like a really big, important figure.
Absolutely. Wow. Well, I look forward to seeing it. It was one of the things that grabbed my attention when I was looking through the
it's
catalog.
It's a fun movie.
So, well, I wish. Is this your first time in this festival or any festival? Dior was in.
That did festivals, and this one premiered at Sundance and has been kind of going around. It's my first time in Florida, though, and I'm definitely enjoying it. It's lovely. Yay. Yeah.
Well, Florida's lucky and happy to have you.
Thank you.
Best of luck with this festival and all the other ones, and we look forward to seeing your film.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
That's it for now. One final question. I can't forget this. What's your favorite martini?
My favorite martini is probably a Hendrick's martini. I like a good gin martini.
Oh, very good. Do you like olives or twists?
Yeah, I like a twist and just a little splash of olives. Yeah.
Ah, I like that. Good answer. I could go for one of those right now myself.
Yeah, let's get one.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time on martiniandmovie.com.